Mhm. Y'all gotta get in here. Better late than never. Oh man. I'll give y'all a second here before we get started. A little Sunday night stream action, a little Sunday night podcast action. You already know the vibes. You guys are in the chat. Make sure let me know that you guys can hear me. Make sure you guys can see me. You know. Mm. Oh man. Woo! Just had to down that shake real quick. But yes. Yo, what's going on, everybody? It is your boy Fitzmonk TV here, aka G Lauren33, back with another video on the channel for you guys today. And today, this is the Legit Shoot podcast, and we are talking about the fallout of the Elimination Chamber for 2025 and the madness where we got one of the most unexpected, wild, craziest endings to a PLE in WWE history. Call it a PLE, call it a pay per view, call it whatever you want. Holy crap. And I'm just gonna get into it. I don't want to waste any time here, man. I know last night I didn't stream, I didn't do a review. I was on such an emotional high last night, and I don't think anybody could blame me. We got one of the craziest moments in the history of WWE, not just the Triple H era, not just of the of this decade, of in the entire history of WWE. We have never seen something like we saw last night. And I think last night what we saw was potentially the greatest heel turn in WWE history. Quite possibly the greatest ending to a pay-per-view we have ever gotten. Something that we never thought, something that I never thought I would say out loud on a podcast here on YouTube. John Cena turned heel. It's not fan booking anymore. It's not, something that you create in a WWE video game and create a storyline. It's not something that you can envision anymore. It is something that is happening in reality, in the present. John Cena is a heel. Holy shit. Man, oh man, what a show it was last night. The Elimination Chamber. And now we are on the road to WrestleMania. We're going to talk about John Cena's heel turn. We're going to talk about everything that led up to it, the signs, everything that led up to it, and where do they go from here? Now, the path to WrestleMania just took a wild, wild turn, but a super exciting turn. Something that is going to get us excited, not just for WrestleMania, but potentially for the rest of the year in terms of WWE storytelling. We know that based on everything Cena said, this is his last year as a active superstar. He plans to wrestle all year and then retire at the end in December. But I don't know. I have reason to believe that Cena might not actually be done after this year. I think there's a chance, especially with the events of last night, that this might convince Cena to stay around and wrestle just a little bit longer. I don't have any inside information on this, but that's just the feeling I get. We're going to talk about all that. We're going to talk about where the storyline goes with Cody Rhodes, what should happen at WrestleMania, in my opinion, and then of course leading into the rest of the year. Man, there is so many different things that WWE now can do now that John Cena has turned heel. First things first. First thing I want to say is this. Last night, when we got the John Cena heel turn, right? There was all these talks, and I don't know how many of you guys are on social media. I'm not on social media much these days, but of course I'm on Twitter. That's where I get most of my wrestling news. There was a lot of talk of these supposed inside leakers or people at the dirt sheets, leaking that Drew McIntyre was going to win the chamber and go on to face Cody Rhodes, and people were losing their minds that this guy, was like leaking this stuff. And I'm just sitting there like, guys, how many times has Triple H said, over the last couple of years that the people that claim that they know something don't know anything? WWE may send floaters out here and there to get people talking to try to make you think like but in reality, you don't know. All right. This is not the Vince McMahon era where everything was so predictable. Everything was leaked out well in advance, right? You knew when Brock Lesnar was going to come back. You knew when WWE was playing a Goldberg versus a Roman Reigns match for WrestleMania or something stupid like this. You know, we've now been in the Triple H era pretty much for about 2.5 years now, right? It was right around the middle of 2022 when the Vince McMahon stuff. It's crazy how quickly time passes. But yeah, it's been about 2.5 years. It took a while for Triple H to fully take over because Vince was still technically part of the company, right? Even though Triple H had creative control, but then things would shift over. It wasn't until Vince fully sold his TKO stock that he was fully gone, and it truly felt like the turning of the page into the Triple H era, and that happening with WrestleMania last year, right? Being the real first WrestleMania where Triple H had full control over everything, and now we're in this new era of WWE when they're making more money than ever. The product has never been as hot as ever. Everybody's talking about WWE all the time. It seems they're selling out every single gate and every single show that they do, breaking records left and right. The product has never been more such a focus. They're on Netflix, they're doing international shows, all this crazy stuff, right? They're teaming up with all these celebrities, all these influencers, all these, artists that are appearing on WWE TV week by week, right? But people keep claiming that they know what's going on. Triple H is not Vince McMahon. Why the hell would he leak out information about what's going on? He wants to keep you on the edge of your seats. Triple H understands that wrestling now is not just about putting on banger matches, but it's about the storytelling that you lead the fans on. It's all about the storytelling. And that is what we've been getting. This is, everything that we get now is all about the story because anybody can put on a good match. Any wrestling company, there's thousands of wrestling companies out there, whether it's WWE or AEW or TNA or Ring of Honor or whatever it is, right? You can find good wrestling anywhere. Anywhere. It could be a big company or a small company. You can find good wrestling. The talent's out there. But the characters behind the wrestler, the storytelling that you get, that is how you build sustainability. That's how you keep fans coming back for more and more. It's like what Triple H said. It's right what Cody Rhodes said. When Cody beat Roman Reigns at WrestleMania last year, right? That was the end of that story. Cody's journey to finally get to the top and finish the story and become WWE champion, the thing that his father could never do. Then the next day after that, that's the first page of a new story, right? The story of Cody Rhodes now officially being on top and trying to stay on top, but doing it the right way. We are now in a huge pivotal part of that story with the events of last night. That's what Triple H does. He tells stories that go along with the matches. Why the hell would he leak out to people or his team? Why would he allow them to leak out to stupid reporters, Sean Ross Sapp, all these other guys that claim that they have inside knowledge, Dave Meltzer, all those clowns? Why would he go and reveal some of the biggest secrets on the road to WrestleMania just so they can go put out a cheap story? Like, oh yeah, oh, I know that Drew McIntyre is going to win the Elimination Chamber. Oh man, I knew that John Cena was going to win the Elimination Chamber and turn heel. Why the hell would he want any of that information leaked out? Does anybody ever does anybody ever just take 2 seconds to actually think about this stuff? Seriously? It doesn't make sense to me. It really doesn't. That days before the Elimination Chamber, one of the biggest plot points on the road to WrestleMania was just gonna casually be leaked out. No, it was never gonna be leaked out. That's why when I saw this stuff, I was like, nah. I'm not gonna pay this no mind. But you have people out there losing their minds, issuing death threats to people getting journalists getting in huge arguments with people online over leaks and all this other stuff. When truly none of y'all don't know shit. The only people that really know anything is Triple H and a couple people that are close to him. That's it. And probably a couple of the wrestlers that might be involved in those storylines of those big decisions. I guarantee you the only people that really knew about John Cena's heel turn and what was going to happen to end the Elimination Chamber last night was probably Triple H, a couple, 2 or 3 maybe creative guys, right? Cena, The Rock, Cody Rhodes. That's it. You could probably count on your fingers the amount of people that actually knew what was going to happen in the main event last night. You could probably add maybe Michael Cole on there. Michael has said, that he needs to know that type of stuff. Like Pat McAfee doesn't know, but Michael Cole needs to know so he can make sure to communicate to the audience what the hell is going on. And probably maybe a couple of the cameramen, because it's their job to get those shots, right? That close-up shot of John Cena looking at The Rock as The Rock is doing the throat slash, as he's hugging Cody Rhodes just before he's about to knee him in the balls and go for the low blow, something you never thought you would see Cena do. So, Lily, the amount of people that probably knew about Cena's heel turn last night, probably you can count on your fingers. So that's the first thing I want to say, right? Stop listening to these insiders that want to act like they are holier than thou, that they're important because they have information that you don't. They really don't know shit. They may know a very little. This is, but at the end of the day, they really don't know anything. So stop giving them attention that they really don't fucking deserve. All right. Second thing, Triple H said this in his press conference, right? I know I don't do a podcast every single week now. Right? I more just choose, I pick and choose when I want to come on here and talk. But second thing, for those of you guys who feel like the road to WrestleMania has been boring, how idiotic do you look now? Triple H said it, at the beginning of his press conference last night. He said, does it feel like we're on the road to WrestleMania now? Like, come on, use your heads, guys. Seriously, I said this on Twitter. I know I didn't say it on a video, but it's obvious. One thing that is big about the road to WrestleMania this year is WrestleMania is at the end of April. I think April 19th, April 20th. It takes place in the second half of April. Usually in years past, WrestleMania always takes place in early April. Sometimes literally just the first weekend of the month. April 1st, April 2nd is usually when the WrestleMania takes place, right around there, right? Usually, so they have less time for a build. You have the Royal Rumble, then sometimes they have either put a fast lane pay-per-view or the Elimination Chamber there, and then they build the WrestleMania because they only have a couple weeks, right? Usually, if this was in years past, we would only have about 4 weeks left until Mania. This year, we have about another 6 weeks? If I count it, it's March 2nd. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 7 weeks till WrestleMania. Nearly 2 months. Nearly 2 months. But y'all want everything now. This is the problem with this generation. We're so impatient. We want everything now. You don't want to leave something in there in the oven just to cook for a little bit longer, just for a couple extra minutes, so it's extra crispy when it comes in. That it's well done and cooked to perfection. We want everything now. And if we don't get it now, it's wrong. It's bad. Like what? Seriously? Like I understand SmackDown the last couple weeks really wasn't that good, right? There wasn't too much going on. But maybe it was because, and I said this on Twitter, right, over the last couple weeks, maybe because WWE is waiting. They're waiting to the Elimination Chamber to heat things up. because they know even after the Elimination Chamber, they're gonna have almost 2 freaking months, 7 weeks, very basically 2 months to build towards WrestleMania. This is the last POE for a month and a half. Oh, we're gonna get this Raw and SmackDowns now, and probably what maybe one Saturday night main event mixed in there. But this is what we're gonna get. Like, you expect WWE to blow their entire load up in just 2 weeks just so you feel fulfilled? When we have so they what you want them to give you everything now, and then there's nothing in the next 6 or 7 weeks as we build up to Mania. That's what you want? Seriously? Like, use your head for a second here, guys. I understand. Yes, WWE probably wasn't. The shows were a little bit boring the last month, but I understand it's because Triple H is taking his time. He wants to build these storylines up. They have time to play with. There's no rush right now. If we were 3-4 weeks out from Mania and then we were getting these boring types of show, okay, yes, you could understand. Okay, Triple H, like, what's going on? But clearly, he had a plan in mind from the beginning. That's why they were focusing on, the tournaments you've been seeing on Raw and SmackDown, right? Some of these other things that may not be as interesting or may not be as big in the grand scheme of things on the road to WrestleMania, but it's still stuff for you to pay attention to, right? So I don't know why it boggles my mind that some of y'all have absolutely no fucking patience. It's insane to me, really. This generation has no patience for anything. They want, give it to me now, give it to me now, give it to me now. Seriously? Look at, you get a moment like that last night, and now you get to go back and look at everything leading up to it. How patient, how all the signs were there for the John Cena heel turn, right? And they gave it to you in small little drops. And it resulted in one of the craziest, what's going to go down as one of the most iconic moments in WWE history. John Cena freaking turning heel. You guys wanted them to blow their whole load a couple weeks ago when Raw and SmackDown, but instead they slowly gave you little things here and there, and it led to something as big as what we saw last night at the Elimination Chamber. And now we have now we're going to be put on this amazing road to WrestleMania. And now we're gonna get one of we thought Cody and Roman was big. Now Cena and Cody. Now this could go down as one of the most. This is gonna go into as one of the most anticipated WrestleMania matches of all time. Now that Cena's a heel, because it opens the door to so much that we never thought we were gonna get. Cena versus Cody, I would have took it babyface versus babyface just because I'm such a fan of both, right? But I understood some people's perspective that Cena versus Cody, that's like a Vince McMahon. That was something that Vince would do just because he would just do it just for the star power, not because it's a good match, not because it's a really great story. He would just do it because, oh, let me just take the two big names, put them together, and wham. Because that was Vince's logic. No matter if it's Brock versus Roman or Brock versus Goldberg or Goldberg versus you know what I mean. That was Vince's thing. Always try to bring back a part-time legend or somebody that was way past their prime just to put them in there for a match that was and a story that no one really cared about. But now, and that's what I can see why people were not interested in Cena versus Cody. Not because they don't like the both, not because the story with Cena and Cody could be great, because Cena chasing 17 and what is probably his last full-time year. But now with this new element of Cena being heel and how much he really, dives into it over this road to WrestleMania and potentially beyond, it just became that much more captivating. What was so special about last night, because you got a moment that fans wanted for so long, but thought they would never get. You would never get a Cena heel turn in the Vince McMahon era because Cena was always relied on as the babyface, the guy to push the needle, the guy to be the face of the company, through good, bad, the ugly, right? He was always meant to be the guy for all the little kids to look up to sell merch, right? To sell out every single gate, no matter who he was wrestling. No matter if it was Cena versus CM Punk, Cena versus Randy Orton, Cena versus Batista, Cena versus Edge, Cena versus Triple H, right? Some of Cena's biggest matches of all time. Cena versus AJ Styles, Cena versus Roman Reigns, Cena versus Brock Lesnar, right? But also they relied on Cena to main event even terrible matches. Remember we got John Cena versus like John Laurinaitis to main event a pay-per-view? That was back in like what 2012, right? We had John Cena versus R-Truth close out a pay-per-view. I think it was Capital Punishment, something like that. That was like I think the night where Cena announced that Osama bin Laden had been killed. That was what Cena was in his prime. And Cena wanted to turn heel so many times. He was like, I want to try something different. I want to try something different. But Vince was like, no, I need you to be the face. And Cena was that face for well over a decade of his prime. From 2005 on to, let's say, 2017 is when Cena started really becoming more part-time, right? And Cena happily did it because he understood it was best for business. It was understood that this is what needed that he needed to be that guy for the company. But he always in the back of his mind thought, man, I would love to switch this up at least for a little bit, right? And we've heard the story. Cena's talked about this in podcasts. How before the initial plan after WrestleMania 28, when he lost probably the biggest loss of his career, when he lost to The Rock at WrestleMania 28, and how the plans were there for him to turn heel. And they decided to nix them. They even made, he had new ring gear made up, new entrance theme, right? And basically how his heel character was going to be the complete opposite of babyface John Cena. Absolutely the opposite of hustle, loyalty, disrespect. He wasn't going to hustle as much anymore. He wasn't going to have that same loyalty to the company. He was going to be disrespectful, right? And we've always thought about, imagine if we had got to that. How awesome that would have been. What that would have looked like. And we never did. We never did. And then now Cena goes on this retirement tour where you're thinking, okay, there's a lot of good, cool things you can do with Cena, right? You could still do some nostalgia, maybe have him do the world life thing here and there, right? Of course, the chase for the 17th title is going to be an element of it, but he's gonna fall short, or they're just gonna do the classic babyface chase where he'll eventually get it after a super long struggle, right? You're gonna get some great, throwback matches like with him and Punk and him and Orton, right? And then you're gonna get some other stuff here, him also going up against the new and the next generation, like a Logan Paul or a Gunther, or a Jey Uso or an LA Knight, things like that. Instead, WWE has flipped it all on its head. They said, we're not going to give you that predictability. We're going to do something that you guys wanted, but thought you would never actually get. What Triple H did last night, it just shows the balls. This is truly Triple H saying, this is my era. I'm going to go do stuff that people are not going to just be talking about it today, tomorrow, for the next couple months. This is a moment people are going to talk about for years. 20 years from now, when Cena's long retired, right, and he's an old man, and Cena's in his 70s, right? Who knows if he'll still be acting or anything by that part. If he's just retired from movies and wrestling in general. But I'm gonna be, God willing, hopefully my 40s, 50s, and I'm gonna tell people, hey, I was there. I was alive. I got to watch live the night that John Cena turned heel. Because they're gonna make documentaries about that moment. When they make top 10 lists of the biggest heel turns in wrestling history, Cena's gonna be up there. It's probably gonna be number one because it's something you never thought you were gonna get. And Triple H last night said, "Fuck Vince, fuck the previous establishment, fuck the previous era, fuck the previous leadership. This is my time." Right? Triple H said over the weekend, this would be an industry changing event. And you know how Triple H is. Sometimes I see him say, and I'm like, I love Triple H. Like I have full trust in him, but sometimes I hear him saying, I'm like, ugh, Triple H is one of those guys where he's always talking about this is a new era, this is a new WWE, this is a new change in the business, right? He's one of those big guys who likes to tout those big words, right? That they love to use in podcasts and newspapers and media outlets, right? You know about new era, the new this, that, right? Triple H has said that 1,000 times. So when he said, I was like, like maybe something cool happens here, right? But it's not gonna be that crazy. And then he goes out and he does that. He has John Cena turn heel. And that is an industry changing moment. People don't understand, man. This John Cena, it's not like any normal heel turn you get. But that's what makes it so special. You get, look at Kevin Owens. Love Kevin Owens, one of my favorite superstars. But you could turn him babyface or heel at any time, right? And he's still just as great. Well, look at Cody Rhodes' look at Kevin Owens' heel run right now. It's amazing, right? You know, it's probably his best heel work in the entire time he's been in WWE. But you could turn Kevin Owens heel or babyface, he's still gonna be as loved, right? Give me somebody else. Randy Orton. Randy Orton's someone that you could turn as babyface or heel at any time, and everyone's gonna be okay with it. Seth Rollins is another guy you can turn babyface or heel at any time. People will be okay with it. Same thing with CM Punk. All right. So yes, heel turns are great, right? But it's when they're not only unexpected, but when they come from guys you would never expect to. Everyone's been talking about for a while, over a year now, right? Cody Rhodes, when is he going to turn heel? When is he going to go full Homelander? And I do think one day Cody Rhodes will turn heel. I don't think that time is anytime soon, especially with his popularity. He's at John Cena's popularity as a babyface now, right? So when you look at it, you get John Cena to turn heel in a moment that you never expected. Never expected. It makes it that much better because you never thought you were gonna get it. Especially in the last year of Cena being a full-time wrestler or Cena being an active wrestler, right? You would never think, oh, Cena's gonna spend the last year of his wrestling career turning heel. Something that you would think for Cena that bridge is long gone. Why would I turn heel now? I'm retiring at the end of the year. This is something I should have done 5, 10 years ago. And now here we are. Here we are now. It's 2020 or 2025. And Cena decides, now, F that. I'm not here to just do a little nostalgia run. I'm here to actually change the game. Change the game. Something that they're gonna talk about long after I'm gone. And I'm gonna turn heel. I'm gonna bet on myself. And man, oh man, if I'm John Cena right now, I don't even know how I can say I'm retiring. How can I say I'm retiring? At the end of the year, this is something that you could go on, and it's so easy because you can just have Cena become Hollywood Cena, right? It goes with the character now, right? The man who preached hustle, loyalty, and respect, right? Even after he went Hollywood, still would always come back to WWE. He wasn't like Batista or The Rock that only showed up once in a blue moon. All right, he still would show up whenever his schedule allowed him to have time because he loved WWE. But now look at it. The signs were there the entire time. The second Cena came back and after losing the Rumble, he put himself into the Elimination Chamber while qualifying, right? And at first you're like, oh, Cena, you're thinking, oh, Cena, he has every right to do that. He's John fucking Cena. But you didn't think like, wait, Cena actually using politics, something he's always been against? Prime Cena would have never done that. Prime Cena would have made time out of his schedule to appear on Raw or SmackDown and qualify for the Chamber. Right? Cena not showing up throughout this retirement tour. We're now in March. He's only showed up twice all year. I know part of that is because, of course, he's filming a movie in Budapest right now, and then once that movie's done, he'll probably be on TV, throughout the rest of the year. But storyline wise, right? Cena not showing up for a retirement tour that he chose. that he decided on. He was the one that showed up back in July and said, I want to do this. I want to make 2025 special by doing this for the fans, for everyone that's been a fan of me throughout my career. Give them the chance to see me one last time. Right. And then he doesn't show up for the retirement tour. They were in Toronto on Friday on SmackDown, and he didn't show up. He decided to fly in the day of. The signs were there. The way Cena what acted in the chamber when Seth Rollins hit CM Punk with the stomp after he was eliminated. Prime and Cena went for the pin right away. Prime Cena would never. Prime Cena would have been disgusted by Seth's actions and would have at least gave what's his name? Punk a chance to get up and have a fighting shot. The signs were there from the jump. All right. What's funny is, we'll never know what would have happened if Cody had accepted Rock's offer. Would Cena still have turned? Would we have gotten a double turn? Would they both have turned heel? I don't know. But still, the fact that we got that moment tonight, so great. Our last night, so great, so iconic. Chef's kiss, honestly. And the fact that now he's aligned himself with The Rock. Now I think, and I'm basically, we'll talk about the moment itself in just a second. But, when you see everything that they did tonight, man. So right now, I believe Cena and Rhodes are not advertised again until March 17th. I don't know if that's right, but I believe Cena's next advertised appearance is March 17th. Which would be Monday Night Raw in 2 weeks. So and based on what The Rock said, Cena's already back in Budapest right now, back to filming that with his movie, right? So, of course, like I said, that makes perfect sense. Makes perfect sense. But what do they do from here, right? And like I said, we'll talk about the moment. The reason is I'm a day late on this anyway, so most of you guys have probably already seen the moment or heard it talked about from your other podcasters, right? What do we expect from here? All right, that first Cena promo is gonna hit like crack. 'Cause I can't even I've been envisioning like what this is gonna look like, right? What kind of Cena are we gonna get when he comes back? You guys saw the press conference last night, the Elimination Chamber. Cena came out and he literally sat down, dropped to didn't even really look at the media room. He took the mic, dropped it, walked away. The Cena's face, man, straight cinema, and all business. Like no fucks given look. Like he just doesn't care. It's almost like he's been possessed. Like everything that we knew about Cena had been sucked out of him. And I just can't. That's the thing. I think I'm so excited about now is to see what kind of Cena we're gonna get going forward. Like this is like I don't think you're gonna get the John Cena that's gonna come out in jorts and just be a heel. I don't think that. I think you're getting a completely different John Cena, a Hollywood like John Cena, a corporate John Cena. I don't know how similar it's gonna be to the Cena that we thought was gonna be healed back in 2012, the Cena that was described on the podcast. But I expect Cena to come out with some new music. I expect Cena to come out. We'll see if he's wearing George, but I think it would make more sense for Cena to come out in a suit, right? And kind of Cena said it. Cena said, every time you see me after this year, after this retirement tour, you're gonna see me in a suit. I'm retiring the George for good. Right? I expect to see Cena. Imagine Cena comes out in 2 weeks and he comes out new music, comes out in a suit and shades, right? Full born corporate heel. I can't even imagine. And imagine what kind of reaction he's gonna get. Cause I feel like most people are like, yes, you have the crowd, the part of the crowd that's gonna boo him now. But Cena's used to that, right? He was like that. He's been booed most of his career. You know, like in his prime, all he got was Cena sucks chance. But This is a different level. Like the "you sold out" boos are gonna hit on a different level, right? And then Cena's gonna sit there in the middle of the ring. I can't wait for seeing then the theater smile and give the, um, "you could see me now" or something like that. I can't like so like what that promo is gonna be must see television. They're gonna advertise the shit out of that. Because all everyone's gonna ask is why, John? Why? Why now? Why after all these years of preaching hustle, loyalty, and respect? The guy who never turned on the crowd, the guy who went through so much crap, so many moments where he could have turned heel. Bray Wyatt tried to turn him heel. Kane tried to turn him heel. The Nexus tried to turn him heel. This guy went through so much in his prime, especially during those 10 years, and never turned heel. Why now? Is it the desperation, right? The desperation of wanting to get the number 17, knowing that he doesn't have the time left anymore? Is it the Hollywood angle? Did Hollywood actually change John for the worse? Who knows? But there's so many layers to the story now. There's so much that they can do, right? Did The Rock and Cena's common bond through Hollywood, through all those years that Cena's now been in Hollywood, right? Did The Rock teach Cena something that Cena didn't understand before? That led to Cena making this move. Why would Cena sell out to The Rock and become a corporate guy, a corporate champion? Something that Cena's always fought against. Cena's always been the guy to fight against corruption, the fight against the unjust, the fight against the evil higher power, no matter if it's Vince McMahon or the Authority, right? Or John Laurinaitis or whoever it was. Cena's went through 1,000 bad GMs, but never turned his back on the WWE universe. Why now? Why now in 2025 when he's at the end of his wrestling career? Why now is the time for him to actually turn his back on the people that have supported him forever? All right, is his desire to be champion that big? Does he really have that much of a desire to be champion at 48 years old? The layers that this story is going to create is crazy. And then you have the Cody Rhodes element. Cody Rhodes being the WWE champion, who told The Rock to go fuck himself live on TV. When was the last time we've ever seen someone say "go f yourself"? No, not blurped out on any WWE programming. Has it ever even been done? And you could tell how excited WWE was to have that moment because they were like, Triple H is like, we're not blurring this out at all. You can tell how excited Cody was to say it because Cody had a smirk on his face before he said it, right? And when he said, and then he had the serious look after him. But it was like Cody was so excited that he was going to be able to tell The Rock to go f himself in front of 40,000 people in the Rogers Center and in front of the entire world watching on Peacock. And now Cody Rhodes, who has looked up to John Cena as the standard excellence, the standard guy, the way to treat the crowd right, how to be the face of the company. Cena set that foundation for over 20 years. For Cody to have his inspiration, the guy that so many people have now compared him to when they talk about being the face of the company. Now, for that guy to turn on him in the worst way possible, it's insane. It's insane now. And now Cody's going to have to fight not just Cena, but The Rock. An unmatched superstar duo with infinite aura and infinite power, infinite superstar credibility. There's no way Cody's going to be able to get out of this. There's not. I think Cody's story as WWE champion is about to take a rough, rough ending. I would be shocked if Cody walks out of WrestleMania still the WWE champion. There's no way you turn Cena heel and you're not having him win number 17 at WrestleMania. There's just no way. It would be an absolute waste. But the craziness, man, of this moment, the fallout it's gonna have on eras and decades of WWE TV. Absolute insanity. Really, absolute insanity. And I can't believe I got to see it with my own eyes. just a wild, wild scene last night at the Elimination Chamber, man. But you just think about it here, right? That first promo now that Cena's gonna cut. How is Cody gonna react? You could see after being bloodied. I was saying one thing I didn't like the Travis Scott thing didn't make sense to me. He's over there like blowing sage and smelling salts in the corner, But then there was a moment Travis hit Travis fucked Cody in the face hard. Cody was already busted open, right? And he was bruised by, Cena absolutely blasting him with the title belt and with the watch, right? But then Travis Scott, when the Rock or when Cena and Travis were holding Cody down for the Rock to whip him, Travis legitimately hit Cody in the face. I didn't like that. There's one thing I don't like is when celebrities come in and then, take shots at these real wrestlers. Yes, these real wrestlers can take those punches. They're trained to do that, but they're still human beings at the end of the day. And I find that was kind of disrespectful for you to think you can just come in and then, just whack somebody with full strength, full speed. So I definitely expect Cody, to get his payback on Travis Scott at some point. I would not. I don't care. I would never let somebody hit me like that. Not at all. But man, so now going into the future, right? That first Cody promo. How the hell is Cody gonna react to not only what the Rock did, but what Cena did? How the hell could he believe the guy who never Cody? Because you have Cody out there saying he sold his soul to the people a long time ago, something that he got from Cena, and then he sees that Cena, the guy who set this foundation for that, sells his soul at the end of his career. That first Cody promo is gonna hit like crack, and we shouldn't see Cody for a couple weeks. Right? March 17th, that would be the perfect time to see Cena and Cody back at it. And it's gonna lead to this an epic moment. The eyes that this moment is now gonna bring back to wrestling. Because yes, Cena versus Cody by itself, right, is great. But there wasn't like yes, they were gonna cut great promos and everything like that. But at the end of the day, Cena's a babyface, you know. And at the end of the day, it's just a vanilla match. It's like, it's a cool dream match, but is it WrestleMania worthy? No. But now this new element of a heel Cena versus Cody, it changes everything. It changes everything. And it now makes this match. It takes this match from a dream match to one of the most anticipated WrestleMania main events of all time. This is clearly your night 2 main event, right? And who knows? Who knows what? Because there's so many different elements now you can do with this, right? Say the even out the odds with The Rock here, right? Now, what if Cody calls on Roman Reigns, who's now a babyface, to come help him? And now that sets the seeds for Roman and Rock potentially at WrestleMania next year in New Orleans. Maybe that's where this is leading, because it looks like right now, I don't think The Rock's going to be competing at WrestleMania this year, but could be wrong. Could be wrong. But I will say this year, I will say this. As much as I love Cody Rhodes as champion, Cena has to win at Mania now. Not only, of course, would he give you the big moment of Cena becoming a 17-time world champion, but you don't pull the trigger and have a heel moment like this tonight and then not have Cena win at Mania. You can't. It would crush so much of his momentum. Seriously. And this year, one of the things about this year and this retirement tour, even with Cena being a heel now, it's time to bring Cena back up to the levels he was at his prime. We haven't gotten that Cena pretty much in 8 years since he last won a world championship against AJ Styles back at the Royal Rumble in 2017. We need that Cena back. You can't have Cena do something like this. You cannot have Cena turn heel and then have him lose to Cody at Mania. And we're going to talk about that a lot over the next 2 months. But you cannot have a moment like that last night and have Cena go turn around and lose at Mania. You can't. It's okay to take the belt off Cody for now. You can have Cody regain it at a different point. But for right now, in terms of this story, Cena has to win. I was convinced Cena was going to win 17 at some point this year. I was thinking probably more towards the later part of this year if Cena was going to stay as a face. Now that he is a heel, you have to turn him. You have you have to give him the championship. You have to give him number 17 and fully invest into this heel Cena. This shows how much Cena truly loves WWE. For him to say, "Hey, I'm going to turn heel and I want to do this in my last full-time year as a competitor," is crazy. And I expect if Cena does it, if Cena truly is planning to retire at the end of the year, right? Of course, I would expect Cena to turn back into a face later on, right? You know, but if Cena plans on saying this is something you could keep for a long, long time. There's so many different stories you can tell with this. Man. And so in my prediction, what I think will happen, I do think Cena will go on to beat Cody at Mania, become WWE champion. I do predict that, right? And I think after that, we'll see Cena on TV nearly every week going forward, being an epic heel champion. I like I said, my hope is Cena gets a new theme. I also hope that he gets new gear. I don't know. Maybe he comes out with like a darker version of the jorts. Like I don't know. It would feel weird to see Cena wrestle in something else in 2025, but man, I cannot wait. I truly cannot wait to see what they do. I would have Cena win at Mania, and then I would have him go into the summer and just destroy all the faces. Right? Have him go up against Seth Rollins. Right? Have him go up against Damian Priest. Have him go up against Randy Orton. You know, I won't say Jey Uso because unless they want to do it at Crown Jewel or something, say Jey Uso is the world heavyweight champion. Do you see that Jey Uso at Crown Jewel have Cena win the Crown Jewel championship? And then I think what you do from there, of course, I would have Cody, right? Cody struggling to figure out himself now that he's no longer WWE champion, and now have him come back on the chase to become WWE champion again. But then have him face The Rock at SummerSlam if The Rock is willing to compete. If not, because I believe SummerSlam this year will now be 2 nights, if I'm right. Now that WWE is going to like a 2-night format, I believe it's 2 nights this year, if I'm right. But have Cody, right, go challenge The Rock, get payback on the man who's caused his life hell. After WrestleMania last year, right, and then after believing him and The Rock had put their differences aside, now he takes Cena's soul, right, and on the road of Cody trying to fix everything. He decides I have to go back and finish things with The Rock. I can't move forward of trying to regain the WWE Championship without dealing with The Rock. And then from there, have Cody go on, get payback against The Rock at night one in SummerSlam main event. And then CM Punk, babyface Punk. Imagine that. A babyface Punk versus a heel Cena SummerSlam night two for the WWE Championship. And then you could have Punk end the summer of Punk by becoming WWE Champion, the same place where he beat Cena 14 years ago, back in 2011 at SummerSlam. And then from there, you could have Cena, unless you want to turn him back to a face then, or you could turn him into a heel. Or if something like you could do a double turn, you could have Cena turn back to a babyface and then turn Punk heel at SummerSlam. But I feel like right now that's the right way to do it. The right way to do it. The first step, of course, is having Cena win at SummerSlam or at WrestleMania. That has to be done. That cannot be ignored here in the process. Cena has to beat Cody now. And it was funny because before the Cena heel turn, there was nobody that was going to beat Cody at Mania. No matter, unless you'd had Punk do it and Punk turned heel on Cody and Mania, I was convinced there was no way Cody was losing the WWE Championship coming out of WrestleMania. Now you have this story. You cannot fuck this up. You have to do it at Mania. You have to have Cena win. You're never gonna have a bigger opportunity than this on the grandest stage of them all. You want to give Cena one last WrestleMania moment? Have him break the tie with Ric Flair for World Championship victories while being a heel at WrestleMania in the main event against Cody Rhodes, the guy built to replace him. Story doesn't get anything better than that. It really doesn't. And I am so happy that we're getting this. One quick note on The Rock. I know a lot of people have said, I've also said this kind of a couple times. If The Rock's not here with a plan, then he shouldn't be on TV. Because The Rock always seems now to come by whenever, when things are convenient for him, right? The Rock, was not going to show up on WWE TV. I was like, you got to just get rid of him. Enough. Enough's enough. We don't need The Rock on TV if he's not going to add any value or add to any storylines. I don't know if this was The Rock's plan the entire time because, of course, you guys have seen the image of him at Bad Blood putting up the three figures, right? The classic Cena symbol, right? And I don't know if that's the Rock was teasing that back then. We may never have that answer. But give credit to The Rock too. Because even though I expected Cody not to sell his soul, I expected The Rock to beat Cody's ass, right? Which, in my opinion, could have led to Cody versus The Rock at Mania. Instead, they decided to pivot and to go to an absolute amazing angle with Cena and with The Rock. I don't think I'm ever gonna get that image out of my head of Cena hugging Cody, right, embracing him, staring at Dwayne, and Dwayne just doing the throat slash. I don't think I can get that image. I think it's impossible to get that image out of my head. But it was so great, so fantastic to see, and I'm so glad I got to witness that last night. What an epic moment indeed. And now we are truly on the road to WrestleMania with heel Cena. It's still just to say the words out loud, just absolutely just blows my mind. It truly does. But yes, wow, what an epic moment, man! What an epic moment. Let me know in the comment section what you guys thought, man, of John Cena's heel turn. Where do we go from here going to the road to WrestleMania, man? Will Cena end up winning world title number 17 as a heel? Are we getting that? Let me know what you guys' thoughts is. But cinema, cinema, cinema. Other than that, that's all I got for you guys today. Just wanted to come on and talk about my thoughts about the Cena heel turn. Man, hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you guys want more of this type of content, leave a like on the video. Subscribe if you guys are new to the channel by hitting the bell. Recognize my name, Fitzmonk TV, so you guys are notified every time I post a new video. Other than that, that's all for you guys I got for you today. I will see you guys later. Stay safe and healthy, y'all.